there, Shante Kumar here. Thank you so much for joining me for this Sunday inspiration. So I learned that May is Mental Health Month, and I am super excited about that because as a psychiatric health nurse, mental health has always been a number one priority for me. And today I'm going to be sharing with you two terms that I've noticed people often confuse or will intermingle or change up for one or the other. And I'm going to share why you shouldn't be doing that because they're two very different terms. Now, those terms are self-confidence and self-esteem. Now, the two can go together like bosom buddies, but it is possible to have high self-confidence and low self-esteem. It's also possible to have high self-esteem and low self-confidence. How is that? I'm going to tell you. First of all, self-confidence relates to how you feel about your ability to do something well. So with self-confidence, you can increase it by simply practicing something over and over and over and getting better at it. Example, you want to be like the best French toast maker, right? You really want to master French toast. So you go online, you learn some recipes, you start practicing in your kitchen, and you start busting out the French toast and working on your recipes. And after a while, you've mastered French toast and you've increased your self-confidence in that task, right? Makes sense. Now, self-esteem, on the other hand, can be a little trickier to improve or increase because self-esteem actually relates to your feelings of self-love and ultimately your value as a human being and a person. So self-esteem can be a little harder to increase, but it's totally possible. For example, let's say that you are a person who works really hard at work and you're the one that everyone goes to for help and advice, and you're working multiple shifts and picking up shifts, and everyone says how they couldn't get along without you, and yet you have low self-esteem about yourself. You feel like you are not that good. You're comparing yourself to everyone around you, and you're finding that you still feel bad about yourself no matter how well you're doing. You might have high self-confidence about your job, but how you feel about yourself and who you are is very low. If you're finding that that's the case, and unfortunately that is the case for many people, this is what you can do to increase your self-esteem. First, live by your values. Understand what they are. So if you value honesty, start living an honest life with yourself. Be honest with yourself instead of picking yourself apart and looking at all the bad and negative things you supposedly are or have done. The honest and true thing is that you've actually done some good as well, that you actually have some really wonderful things that you have done and some things that you have been to other people. If you value being timely or being consistent, when you are showing up for yourself with those values that you hold dear, it actually increases your self-esteem. It increases your sense of worth as a human being. Another way that you can increase your self-esteem is to do an I am statement. And a true I am statement. I don't mean write out, 50 affirmations or go looking for affirmations that others have written. That may help you, but affirmations only work when they come from you, from your inside, because it has to be a true voice and it has to be your true voice. It has to be something that you believe or are willing to believe. So for example, if you believe that you're, not a beautiful person on the outside, instead of saying something like, well, I'm not beautiful on the outside, but I'm beautiful on the inside. No, don't do that, because that's not true. You are beautiful on the outside. You're just unable to see or believe it. So instead, an affirmation for that could be, I am willing to believe I am beautiful, period. You see the energy of that? even if you don't believe it right now, what you're saying is, I am willing to believe. That already opens up your mind to the possibilities that, hey, I'm willing to believe this, and other things will come into your life to show you how you can continue to be willing to believe that about yourself. That will increase your self-esteem. When you say an affirmation, like I am one thing, or I am willing to believe this one positive thing about myself, that will definitely increase your self-esteem. Another way we can increase our self-esteem is to also be aware that everyone makes mistakes, to accept that we are not perfect, and to be our own best friend about it, not beat ourselves up over time and time again, right? If you make a mistake, or you fail at something, or something doesn't happen the way you want it to, it does not necessarily mean you are a horrible person, and if you had a friend who had the same thing happen, how would you support your friend? What would you say to your friend to encourage them to lift their spirits? We need to do the same thing for ourselves. You need to be your own best friend, your own best life partner. That increases your self-esteem. So I hope this has helped you today, and I hope that you all get to enjoy a beautiful rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Namaste, dear hearts. Mwah. Until next time.